Hey guys, welcome to Ringsiders. It's been a while. I feel like I'm out of practice doing this. First of all, big shout out to our sponsors, Audible. Get a free 30-day trial on us by visiting the link in the description. And also, Manscaped, 20% off by using the promo code Ringsiders. Trust me, your balls will thank you. Now, hit like, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel for hundreds of videos, including our guest today. He's back, Cary Silkin. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, I'll shill for Audible. I have an Audible. I've had an Audible app on my phone for many years, and I've essentially given up on proper reading, except for looking at a short story, which is pretty sad. But I just downloaded last Saturday. I was at a show with my dear friend Bushwhacker Luke. It was they called it a 80s superstar convention, and Luke was there. Tito Santana, Demolition, Steve. I'm leaving out a lot. JJ Dillon, what a nice man. Steve Lombardi. Oh God, there were a lot of others, but the star guest who you rarely see. I'm going to give you guys a little game here. What major 80s wrestling star, as well as a WWF figure after he stopped wrestling, that's the giveaway, was in attendance?
Oh, Jamie. You was only mentioning him earlier.
I mean, I posted it.
Well, I was going to ask you actually about that.
Okay.
The body.
Yeah, so it's Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura.
I'm a big fan of his. I like his politics. So even though I did read the book like 10, 12 years ago, I downloaded his great 63 Reasons Why They Killed Our President.
Right.
JFK. And he's got another one, 63 documents they don't want you to know. So I was lucky to get a picture with him. It was only because of Luke. He was leaving. He'd signed for 4 hours. There was a line for 4 hours. I got there late, and Luke was saying something, and I just said, "Can I get a picture, please?" He doesn't know nothing about ring. He don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Audible's really good.
Yeah, it is. I was going to ask you about Jesse Ventura. I mean, like you said, he's very rarely, he does appearances. I love all of his stuff, his conspiracies and everything. But I know you only briefly got to meet him, but what was it like?
Well, it was cool. I mean, I only got to spend like approximately 30 seconds, so I had to think quick. And don't forget, I was just in Dallas, for the ROH WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
So when he said, "Yeah, all right," and I was next to him, he put his arm on my shoulder, and I said, "Dude, I was just in Texas, in Dallas at that. They put up a museum for Lee Harvey Oswald. It goes along." I said, "I was at that phony museum." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's right." And that's all. So I just wanted to get his attention, and that was it. Off he went.
Fair enough. It was an awesome photo. I marked out because I'm an old school guy. So seeing you with Jesse Ventura was just, think
of what this guy has done. He was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
He was his fabulous wrestling career, although a lot of people say he wasn't good in the ring. His tremendous, fantastic commentary career.
Yeah.
Then becoming mayor of his little town in where he lived in Minnesota, in the state of Minnesota, and then becoming governor of the whole damn state. I mean, that is like ridiculous. And so I just think he's a real he's an American hero.
Yeah.
And a wrestling hero.
Why do you think so many wrestlers get into politics afterwards? Because it seems to happen quite often.
Your volume went really low, Callum.
1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you've gone very quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
That's better.
Yeah. Why do you think so many wrestlers get into politics?
Well, how many have gotten in besides him and Kane?
There's Glenn Jacobs, so Kane, yeah, Jesse Ventura. Cody has said that he wants to go into politics after his wrestling career is over. And
Jerry Lawler tried.
Jerry Lawler tried. It seems to be like something that.
Rhino tried.
Do you think it's because there's a lot of politics in wrestling, or is it just something? Is it a coincidence?
I really don't know, and I maybe these guys, these particular type of guys, like being in the limelight, and
yeah.
I mean that would be the last thing I would want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my God, yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting, and it was great spending time with Luke, which I still have to get him on. I mean, I got to get him on. I'm going to call him immediately after this. I swear. I promise.
Yes, please. I would. Yeah, that's
talk about a national treasure. Here he is, 76 years old. I don't really like him getting in the ring, but he loves it.
Yeah.
And he's the nicest guy. And what a wealth. I think we talked about after Dallas. Remember I told you, correct me if you didn't hear the story of after the Ring of Honor show, he, myself, and D'Lo Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you the story?
I don't think so.
Okay. The night after the Ring of Honor show in Texas, it was very celebratory. And I went at Dalton Castle, was very nice to give me a ride in the wrong direction of his place. we went out and got some pizza and a couple of drinks, and he drops me off at the hotel. This is where I was staying where WrestleCon was.
Yeah.
So Luke don't stay up late. I mean, and he drinks moderately. But anyway, I come into the hotel at like 1:30, and the closing time is 2 a.m., which is a lot better than you guys, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why do they do that?
You tell me.
All right. So I go into the bar, and there's Luke and a couple other people. He was talking to someone. He had done a run-in. They since Impact was there that night. So since Luke was they're calling last call. So Luke and I order a couple of strong drinks, but they make us go sit in the lobby. And here comes D'Lo Brown. He's another wonderful guy. And he's like, oh man, the bar's closed. But he was calling some people he knew that might have had some beer. And for some strange reason, and I'm being serious, I had a pint of Bacardi rum in my room. Anyway, so I said to him, hey man, I got some rum upstairs. He's like, So we're talking, and about 20 minutes later, I said, I'm gonna go take a leak. And I went up to my room. I brought the Bacardi down, and by 4 a.m. there was about this much of the Bacardi left. He was pouring it into a cup, no Coca-Cola, no mixer of any sort.
Oh.
But we had the greatest conversation. I just sit there and listen. And essentially, Luke was holding court.
Yeah.
And when I saw D'Lo the next day, despite his lack of sleep and hangover, he said to me, that's what it's all about, Cary. What happened last night. So that's that little story.
Yeah. True. True. He's a legend.
D'Lo Brown was the first wrestler I ever met, and he was absolutely lovely. I remember when I met him, I was shaking because it was the first wrestler I'd ever met in person. And I remember him just saying, "Oh, there's no need to shake. I'm not a big deal." And I was just like, "What are you on about? You D'Lo Brown?" I literally watch you on TV every week. He was just such a nice guy.
What
And
company was he in at the time?
it was a local company called IWP, run by Ricky Knight, and in the UK. So he'd come over to do a local show, and he was only there for 2 shows. I think he came back the next month, and that was it. But he won the championship, and at the time I was thinking, this is my life's amazing. I've just met D'Lo Brown. I'd love to meet him again, actually.
I've met him as well, and I agree. He was so nice and polite when I met him. I got a picture. I met him with the Godfather and Ron Simmons. And yeah, all 3 of them just lovely guys.
He works behind the scenes at Impact.
Yeah,
and he's very hard. He's so nice to me. When he sees me, he would say, like, he goes, "Oh, come here, one of the good guys." I say to him, "Oh, you tell that to everybody."
Very underrated as well. I think obviously in the Attitude Era and all that, it was the Stone Cold, the Rock, and all that. But D'Lo's very underrated. He's got a good brain for the business. He knows, he's a good guy to have on your team.
Yes, he is. I mean, we talked about this a few months ago. I was shocked at the backstage of Impact. They're very well run with D'Lo, Tommy Dreamer, Scott D'Amore. Who am I leaving out? Now they got Lance Storm as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Lance Storm there, but I didn't realize Lance was there.
And the lovely and talented and handsome Jimmy Jacobs.
We love
Jimmy.
Yeah.
We've had Jimmy on before. Yeah, lovely guy. But I know obviously we don't want to run out of time because we're all like for talking. Supercard of Honor. I wanted to quickly talk to you about a few matches. Specifically, you were there in person, the Briscoes FTR. I mean, what are your thoughts on that in person?
Prior to seeing that, and all the great wrestling I've seen in Ring of Honor, as well as all my back catalog of live matches, whether it was the old WWF or I was in Mid-South, got to go to some Mid-South stuff, blah, 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 ECW. Kabashi and Samoa Joe was like the top of the list. Well, this might be a new top of the list, or at least equal.
Really? I can't imagine what it was like live.
It was magic. Yeah. 2 of my friends were, they're only wrestling fans through me. And, they've been around, my friend Dustin and Mike Palermo, they've been around Ring of Honor since I've been there. So a lot of these guys know them, like, hey, what's up? But they were there, and they're not going to stay for the whole damn thing. But I told them, you got to wait. And it came on like 4th, I think. And I was able to get those guys right up front. And I just told them, I go, you're going to see a fight here.
And
it was the building, all the cliches are true. The building was electric.
Yeah.
And the match delivered. I mean, I didn't talk to you since then.
No. First time we've spoken since WrestleMania weekend. Yeah.
So, here's really there was a lot of strange. No one had told me if I'm involved, I'm not involved. Sure. Jeff Jones says, yeah, of course. But no one really said, all right, Cary, we want you at ringside, da-da-da-da-da. If titled, it's not my cup. It's not Sinclair anymore, right?
Yeah.
So the show started at 6, the pre-show. And at around 10 to 5, Jay Lethal comes running up to me and goes, come here. He goes, Tony Khan's going to introduce you. You got to talk to Sanjay. I'm like, what? So this is an hour to go. He goes, Sanjay's like, yeah, it's Cary. Before the pre-show starts, Tony's going to introduce you. And a funny thing happened. I was very excited. It was and I didn't even get to say anything to Tony. And I just said to Sanjay, I said, I'm going to be at ringside, right? He goes, well, of course. Okay. So Tony introduces Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman. And Jeff Jones, to his credit. So you guys have never been in a Ring of Honor show live because you never see this because it's recorded off the air. The opening to a Ring of Honor show is there's a countdown and they play the heavy part of Locomotive Breath by Jethro Tull. So in other words, it'd be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the guitar's cranking. Dan, 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 dan. Very easy to clap to, right? So Jeff Jones says, "Hey, Cary's got intro music." I go, "That's good. It's all right." And then they were talking about, can they play it or not? And like Tony Khan was like, "Yeah, it's not on the air." So the mistake I made was there's that. Jamie would know this, but Callum, you wouldn't. There's this very long, like 30-second piano intro, and then the guitar and the piano start meeting. And at about the 1 minute and 2 mark is when that. And I should have told him, make sure you hit it at 102. So Tony introduces me, very nice. And I'm standing on the stage with him, and I come down. And I'm hearing the slow piano.
Oh, no.
Well, no one cut it off. So it finally got to dun, 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 dun. And finally, and I'm looking up at Tony. I'm like going like, make a long story short, I had like a minute 30-second intro. It was just funny.
Just slow piano for your whole intro.
Slow piano, and finally it built up. The people stayed with me, but I just wanted them to stop it. But anyway, as far as that match, talk about delivering. And those guys, all of them, but Dax and Cash have a really good respect and a really good handle on pro wrestling history and ROH history. And so I was told that there's going to be a schmaz after the match.
Right.
That was what you guys saw it, of course, with the Bucks. So I knew to get in the ring, which ain't easy for me, and give them the belts and get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So essentially I did that, and I just knew get out. And I think it was Dax. They're on the ground. Everyone's on the ground selling. I give them the belt. Congratulations, guys. And Dax grabs my arm. He goes, "Don't go anywhere. I want you to raise our hands." So the Bucks waited, and I got to do that, and that was really nice.
I thought that was the best moment. Like, honestly, it might be a bit biased because we're friends with you, but I remember going on Twitter the next day and seeing a picture of you with FTR, and I was thinking, we speak to that guy like quite often. That's amazing. That's Cary Silkin, and it was just such a cool moment to see for you because, like you said, you had no idea that was happening, but I'm sure it felt good that it did.
Well, I mean, once everything, I figured no matter if no one said anything or not, or there was no introduction or not, I was just going to sit at ringside. I mean, I paid for that. And, but, it worked out. And for them to hold me as opposed to me getting the hell out of there was, but yeah, the match was ridiculously good. I liked the whole card.
Yeah.
And, I love Jim Cornette and I respect his opinions, but there was a classic example of Jim not wanting to except for that match.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard his review.
I did. I listen to every show he does.
I haven't heard his review.
The rest of the card, he tore it up, and this is, I love Jim, but this is how he gets his followers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, live it was wonderful. The Gresham match, the Samoa Joe surprise, and I didn't know he was there.
You must
Did you
be
not?
ecstatic,
You didn't know he was there. It was a surprise for you. No.
No.
Did you get to see Joe after the show?
Yeah, I got to see him after the show. And then I saw him the other day, or last week when I went to the AEW.
Yeah, I saw the photo. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, it's good. He's a good guy, man. So yeah. I guess we're gonna. I hope eventually we build to a 17, 18 years after the fact, a Punk Joe match.
Well,
it needs to happen. I was saying this when Joe debuted in AEW. I was like, we need to get another Punk Joe feud. It has to happen. So it would be a waste if we never got that match again.
I think we will.
I think we will. I just, and going back to Cornette a second as well. I'm like, I said this to you before, and Callum will back me up. In the history of Ring of Honor, they're the only company in wrestling that I, hand on heart, can say I've never known them put on a bad show.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
A bad card, a bad show.
They've had stronger cards, but there's never been a bad card in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, there were some that just weren't up to par, but there was always almost too much talent to have a complete stinker. It was virtually impossible. I remember one night in Dayton, Ohio, it was during the Adam Pearce era, and it just wasn't a great night. But look, it's like a roll. I ain't gonna tell you guys this. It's like whether it's wrestling or a movie, you can't just be at the highest high constantly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you gotta, so every show is not going to be the greatest show, but overall, Ring of Honor has delivered during all the eras. And there's a lot of different eras, and hopefully we'll see another new era. Don't ask me what's going on. I don't know.
Oh, we know by now not to ask. We know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, that's it. I mean, I was going to say, obviously, before we wrap things up, I was going to ask you, but I'll put it like this instead. In my head, I'm hoping, obviously, we've got the Forbidden Door show with New Japan and AEW. In my head, I'm hoping at some point we might get a Ring of Honor invasion angle or something.
I'm sure at some point there'll be ROH.
It must be. It must have plans. It must have something going on in his head.
I'm sure. Once again, I barely said a few words to Tony Khan, but the guy's he's very smart. He's a one. He's got some. I don't know how he does it. I mean, between the American football team, the UK football team. It's like the guy, and he likes to have his hands on it. So we'll see what happens, man.
And he's going to get busier because his UK football team, Fulham, have just been promoted to the Premier League, the top league. So come August, no, they're rubbish. They'll go back down, but they're in the top league now. So it's going to be busier. So Fulham are what we call a yo-yo team. They get promoted, then they get relegated straight back down, and then come up and down. So, but they're in the top league now, so he's going to have his hands full and be busier. So we'll see. But no, they're rubbish. So sorry to any Fulham fans who listen to this, but they're rubbish. I'll tell you what. I'll finish on AEW Dynamite. I know you was there. How did it feel for you to see the main event was for the women's championship, the Ring of Honor Women's Championship.
I was not there.
I thought you was. Sorry. How did that feel for you though to know that title was being defended in the main event of AEW?
Well, it's great. It's great. I mean,
it shows Tony has respect for Ring of Honor.
What negative things can I say? Even if Ring of Honor never became its own TV show, and the titles were defended, I got a feeling we're going to see a title defense. I have no information. This is just, I'm not going, but I got a feeling there might be a Ring of Honor title match on that show in the pay-per-view in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, yeah. What is? I can't remember what it's called, Callum.
Against All Odds or
a Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. Yes, I forgot the name. Then I think you might be right.
You know, because they haven't announced anything for Samoa Joe or Jay Lethal.
Yeah, I see that's where they're going with that. Definitely, like some kind of title feud between the two, because Joe's the television champion.
Are you enjoying that little feud, Cary? Obviously, that
yes.
with Jay now heel.
Yes, I am. It's good. As far as the big guy,
yeah.
They know what they're doing. So, and Lethal was telling me, the guy, you know, look, we've seen these giant Gonzaleses. Who am I leaving out?
Great Khali.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lethal's telling me the guy's been working with QT Marshall, and he's okay.
Well, that's what I've heard. I've heard the guy, he's been putting the effort in. You can't knock him. You can't knock the guy for putting the effort in.
It's a wait and see thing. See how it plays out.
What do you think? Although I haven't even seen him visually, because I really don't watch. But what do you think about Cody Rhodes baffling science and being I don't want to say flavor of the month, but doing a really good job at WWE?
I'm so happy for him, actually. Just as a fan, the way he's been presented in WWE comes across as really genuine, because it's the same Cody we had in AEW.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed. Yeah. And I can't help but like that. It's the same person.
He's a really good businessman. But nobody, look, you guys, there's no way you would have expected this to be this successful.
Never.
No. I was shocked that way when it first happened, and this isn't me being a negative wrestling fan, but the way wrestling is at the moment and WWE and things, I actually thought he was taking it was a bad move going back to WWE. I thought it was.
Yeah, same.
Right, they're going to either humiliate him, blah, blah, blah.
Go back on the word, but they haven't yet.
I mean, dare I say he might be the guy to end Reigns' title reign?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't see Reigns dropping the belt for the title for a long time. I can see him going another year or two before he loses it, but who knows?
We'll see. I mean, I really haven't been for example, did you guys watch that pay-per-view? Was it last week?
Backlash. I forgot it was on.
Right.
Yeah. I watched it the following day because I was up for work. I can't say I was impressed. Cody and Seth was another good match. I think they've got great chemistry, but it wasn't the greatest thing I'd seen.
Right. Well, God bless him.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Yeah. But yeah, I think Cody. I think he's going to get that world title run. I think it's going to come. When, I don't know, because like I said, I mean, how do you take the titles off Roman Reigns at the moment? Because
it has to be Cody. It has to be Cody.
Yeah.
It's the only person Reigns hasn't beat at this point.
Okay.
And, I think that they can't give it to Shinsuke or anybody. He's already beaten Shinsuke. It has to be someone that he hasn't beaten yet, and Cody's that only person.
Callum, I would give you like 1,000-to-1 odds it won't be Shinsuke.
Yeah. Well, they teased it for a couple of weeks and then completely forgot about it.
Well, it looks like they're going kind of the Drew McIntyre way now, doesn't it?
Maybe, well? Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of 1001, did you see? And I'm not a big horse racing fan, but every year they have the Kentucky Derby, which is like the biggest race in the United States.
I've heard of it, never seen it before.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's like a stampede. They have like 20 horses. So the horse that won the race, not only was he the longest shot in the race, like 100-1, not only was he, the only reason he got in the race is because one of the other horses had some kind of injury.
Yeah.
So he went in the day before, but he was also, Jamie will know this, when they're coming out of the gate.
Yeah.
And it's 21. He had the worst. He was out in 21. You're like in the next county. And he came from last place. You should watch it on YouTube. It's 2 minutes.
That happened over here. I don't know if you know if we have the Grand National every year.
Right.
And it's 40 horses.
40.
Yeah. And it was the same this year. I think the horse that won, I think, was like 80-1. Just came out of nowhere and blitzed the entire race. Because I think my horse went the wrong way.
Yours didn't finish, did it?
Hold on a second. We're going to talk about horse racing. Do the 40 horses line up like they do in America? Like, in other words, number 40 is like in the next state?
Yeah.
It's like when you see runners about to start a marathon, they're all just piled together. It's kind of
see, they're coming out of a gate.
Yeah, right.
You don't have them come out of a gate?
We do, but not when it's that many.
All right, they just like go. All right, go.
Yeah, basically for the national. Yeah.
There must be a lot of injuries in that.
Lots. Yeah.
There was a lot of horses fell. A lot of horses didn't make it. Like I said, I think my horse is still running, and I don't know where the hell mine went. But it's a lot get hurt. It's a 1 yearly thing. But the same, this horse I think was 80-1, and it just came out of nowhere and left all the horses behind. It was just incredible to watch.
Who came in? Did a favorite come in second?
I think the two favorites were second and third. This horse just boom came right
through.
The
Kentucky Derby. If we would have known this, we could have taken. Do they have exacta betting first and second? They call it here. You could bet like.
Yes, we call it each way over here.
Okay, so if we would have taken the 21, and wheeled them, put them on top for $2 with the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, it would have cost us $40, and it paid $5 grand.
Right.
Jesus.
Nobody did.
Yeah. No, my horse was supposed to come third. Or was the third? It was in the top 4. I don't even think mine finished.
He's still running.
He's still running somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah. Maybe it'll catch up for next year. So who knows? But it's somewhere out there. But we'll finish on that, Cary. It's been way too long, so we're gonna have to, get you back.
Let's get together soon.
Yes.
I'm working on that place in Florida.
Brilliant.
Looks beautiful.
It is beautiful. I'm not good with responsibilities.
Well, I'll tell you, actually, obviously, I'm getting married next year, and Emily, my fiance, mentioned a honeymoon is it Fort Lauderdale in Florida?
That's where I am. I'm right below it.
She mentioned, so you might see me. You might be out there.
I hope I see you then. I hope I see you at a WrestleMania thing. I hope I see you any old time.
We'll be there. I want to come before then. I want to do. I still want to do All Out or something.
Yeah, we'll be there, Cary. We'll be there before the end of the year. We will.
There's always something to do in the New York City area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
A lot of good concerts this summer at Giant Stadium, which is in New Jersey, but it's only like 7 miles from the city.
Yeah.
And you got Coldplay, which I wouldn't go. Elton John. How about Paul McCartney?
Yeah.
Paul McCartney. Yeah, I'm with you. Coldplay. No, thank you.
No.
Paul McCartney.
Not a chance.
Yeah, man. Paul McCartney's a Beatle. Come on, of course. Of course.
You couldn't pay me to see Coldplay.
Dude, he's going to be 80. like this month or next
Jesus.
month.
Well, that's the same. Mick Jagger is 80 in July, and still going.
And I can barely fucking walk. But anyway.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure, Cary. We'll get you back in a couple of weeks.
I love you guys.
We love you too,
Love you too, man.
Can the is this off? Like when you shut it off, or like Callum,
Yeah.
can you cut the broadcast but leave us on?
Yeah, I can do. Ready? See you later.